Hello everybody, and thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I am Jim Coppinger, one of the principals at Zentech Consultants, and this is part 4 of a series of videos we're doing called Why Bluebeam. Now look, Bluebeam Revu is a very well-known software. It's kind of ubiquitous in the architecture, engineering, construction space, and a lot of folks tend to think of it as being meant primarily for that industry. And what we're trying to show in this series is that Bluebeam Revu is a powerhouse toolkit that is really affordable and that it is adaptable and usable by everyone. It doesn't matter what industry, what trade, what you do on a daily basis, right? Any business, any type of function, Bluebeam Revu is going to make your life a lot easier. And that's kind of what we're focusing on here and why we're doing our Why Bluebeam setup, right? And this is part 4. Today I want to talk about custom layout tools and predefined notes. And what do we mean by that? So let me show you. I'm going to jump over here to Bluebeam Revu. And I happen to have a floor plan open here, but it doesn't have to be a plan. We're going to show a little bit about just dealing with basic, business-based documents as well here in Bluebeam. Right? So the idea is that, in previous sessions I talked to you guys about kind of generic tools, but you can build in Bluebeam your own reusable custom tools that you can distribute throughout your entire company to everybody who's working in Bluebeam, so that you don't have to keep recreating and redefining the same things again and again and again. You can define something once, save it, and then have it forever. So if, maybe you're a furniture company, right? And you want to lay out, hey, this is where I'm going to put a desk. There's got to be a desk in that room, right? And you can set scales for your drawing, right? And maybe I got to go in and lay out a chair to go with the desk. You see, I can easily drop symbols on here, right? And I can have hyperlinks, predefined tools on those, right? So if people want to go in and say, hey, where's the that particular type of structure or setup, we can easily do that, right? Copiers, right? That's great for, physical layout and design. We can absolutely do that. We can even go so far as to set up tools for things like, in this case, I had like an evacuation setup. So if you wanted to find like, hey, there's an in-place shelter room over here, you say, you can easily highlight that, and then I can have predefined tools for defining, the routes to go to the shelter. So I'm going to say, hey, people come from this room, they're going to kind of come down here, they're going to walk over here, and then they're going to come in through this door, right, over to here. And that's the shelter path, right? So you can set any tool, but these tools can also be easily adapted to just basic text-based documentation, so that when you're dealing with things like recurring notes or recurring call out, right, the kind of review items that you have to do all the time that are specific to your industry or your trade, right? Whatever you do, whether you're a doctor's office or an accountant, doesn't matter. I can go in and I can have predefined note callouts. Right? Here's a common note, right? So I can just go in and say, look, I'm going to put in my common note here. And you say I can just put in please review per city ordinance. Then I can easily go in and I can adjust where the callout is. Maybe it was for that link right there. Right? And you see that I've already got my note already set, already built. I can just drop it in place. And I can even incorporate hyperlinks. Right? So if I want to, in this case, telling people, look at, City Ordinance 5A. Well, where is that? What is that? I can just put in a link. People can just click on it. It can take them to a web page or another document, right? Or really, literally to anything, an email, anything that we need to kind of incorporate that structure, right? So we can have all kinds of different notes. I can even have, multiple notes, right? So if I want to go in and say, hey, I got a, note here with multiple call outs, right? So I can say, look, you need to, verify a sign number. And you see that now I've got multiple leaders that I can pull around. I can get rid of some, right? So if I say, hey, I don't want one of those leaders, I can delete that leader, right? And then this one points to that right here, and this one goes to this, just click back on this and just drag it over to, that points to that, right? So I can easily adjust that. And then as I move these, you see that I can very easily adjust where the sign is, right, where the notes are, and you see that the arrows all resync. Right, this is what I mean by custom tools and automation, and the ability to adapt and adjust and build really any kind of repeatable function that you need inside of Bluebeam Revu. Right? And that's an extraordinarily powerful set of tools, right, that you can adapt and customize to what you do. It's not a standard out of the box structure that you're tied to. You can make Bluebeam do what you want it to do. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you need Bluebeam. See you next time.